The whistle blows again and the game continues once more with one less man on the field. Hanging out with Hanako and that blonde girl, you keep some pretty strange company. How so? It's just that Hanako's kind of, I don't know, shy? No, it's not really that, it's just she's got some issues. I think I can't really put it in a nice way. Not that I don't think she's a nice person though, she's perfectly nice. Just hard to deal with. Sounds like Miki or at least some other people in class have tried to get closer to Hanako in the past and that didn't go well. I think her judgment is rather harsh, given that everyone, not just those in Yamaku, have their own issues. Then again, I haven't known Hanako for that long, so it wouldn't surprise me if there was some stuff I didn't know about. I'll just take it as it comes. She's a nice person and I think that should be all that matters. Mickey's arrow's nice. Mickey's eyes narrow a little and her smile spreads. You really like her, don't you? Mickey certainly doesn't mince words. Admit it. To be completely honest, yeah I do. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell anyone. Hey, whoa, you can trust me, no problems there. To be honest, I think it's kind of cute. If you want to go for it, don't let me stop you. Thanks. She may say that, but she was just talking about Hanako having issues. Still, I want to hold myself to the words I said. Hanako's problems don't matter. I will deal with anything that comes up because I want to help her. If there's even the smallest possibility that I can pull Hanako out of her depression and seclusion, then I should work towards that, no matter what. If she needs a prince, then I will be that prince. Ooh, not sure if you really want to white knight it, buddy. As I think about the possibility of a relationship, I can see Mickey grinning at me while watching my face. I'm no doubt blushing, and looking away from her only makes me laugh. Her laugh. Mickey gives off a different vibe from the other girls. Talking to her feels more like talking to a guy than a woman. Her saying she prefers male company doesn't help to dispel that notion, however. Glancing at my watch shows that lunch break is ending in only a few minutes. Time to start heading back to class. Lunch is about to end. Want to head back? Yeah, we'd better. I pick myself up off the grass and dust myself off, offering a hand to Mickey to help her up as well. She takes it and easily pulls herself up, showing the muscles moving in her toned bare arms in the process. Come to think of it, why aren't you wearing the normal girl's blouse? It's too hot and constricting. The boy's uniform is better anyway. She throws her arms around a bit to emphasize her point, which has the side effect of showing off one particular part of the body that would be especially constricted by the blouse. The two of us start the walk back to the main building through the gardens, talking as we go. It sounds like you're settling in well. That's a relief. It was pretty surprising to get a transfer student at this point in the year, considering the exams are coming up. Yeah, don't remind me. Haha, don't worry about them. Just cram it and you'll be fine. This doesn't sound like good advice. She claps my shoulder a couple of times as she grins. I don't think she takes school very seriously. You seem like a smart guy, and Mattel's taken to you well already. You're like a hand in a glove. Now to work out whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I still don't know what to make of this school. I've been here a few weeks already, but I still feel dazed at times. You'll get used to it. Just give it some time. It's only a high school, just like any other. She makes it sound so simple, but I've never thought about it that way. To me, Yamaku symbolized a marked shift in my life. I was no longer normal, I was different, and to be educated with other different people. And yet, I'm walking back to class and talking casually with a classmate during lunch, after watching some others play a soccer game, all perfectly normal. Maybe she has a point. Maybe I should just look at Hanako in the same way. Everyone has their own issues, this is hardly something unique to Yamaku. After all, it's only a high school, just like any other. As we continue to talk, I find myself smiling. Mickey and I are very different people in almost every way, but it feels good to have gotten to know another classmate a bit better. She allowed you to vent a bit there too. She managed to get the truth out of you pretty quickly, to be honest, man. I mean, hey, she now knows that you like Hanako, and yeah. You spent, what, 5 minutes with her talking? A light breeze blows the scent of early summer around my head while I wait for Lily. Small white clouds litter the sky, breaking up the monotony of the blue. Hisao, are you here? Lily's voice lifts on the breeze as if they were one and the same thing. I stop gazing into the sky to examine Lily. It sounds a little bit pervish. With a peach off-the-shoulder sweater and tan ankle-length skirt, in addition to tan sandals, she's quite a nice sight. She is actually. Yeah, I'm over here, Lily, near the gate. Were you able to sneak away from Hanako? Yes, it's not uncommon for me to go out during weekends, so I don't think she noticed anything suspicious. That, and she has someone she sees. Lily purses her lips, as if she maybe shouldn't have continued. I find it a little hard to believe. Hanako's seeing someone? Really? No, it's just she sees the rapist every so often on weekends. Oh well, that does make a lot of sense. Lily rubs her arm uncomfortably, and after one look at her troubled expression, I quickly move to change the topic away from Hanako. Huh. That was your attempt at changing the topic? That was horrible, Hisao. You don't just say, huh. Yes. Except Lily, luckily enough, Lily says, yeah. Okay. Alright. I was just wondering, you can get around the city on your own? Oh, that was a terrible change of topic. Lily sighs at my consternation surrounding the topic of her blindness. I'm my own worst enemy sometimes. I can, yes. It's easier when I'm out with a friend or my sister though. I wonder how Lily gets along with her sister. Being an only child, it's hard to imagine what having a sibling would be like, so it makes me a little envious of her. Right, well then, the bus arrives in a few minutes, so we should probably get a move on. Indeed, it's a long wait if we miss this one. With that, we set off for the bus stop on the hill. It's only a small distance from the school gates, so it's very convenient. It's a nice view from here. Coming from the city, I never really got to see the scenery like this, let alone on a daily basis. This area is nice for me as well. It's tranquil and away from the noises and smells of the city. Lily's head perks up in a trademark gesture of hers, signifying that she's caught a sound. Oh, here comes the bus. I look down the road to see the bus trundling up the hill. Her hearing's quite a useful tool. The bus only takes a short while to reach the bus stop, forcing its way up the road, and within a minute we are on our way to the city. Walking around the city, I feel a distinct nostalgia. The smells, the traffic, the tall buildings everywhere. It's a lot like my native city, save for the raised walkways. It feels a little weird, walking around the city casually as I would in a park, but with cars rushing around underneath me. As I'm busily pondering the engineering marvel that is raised walkway, I get a surprise. It takes a moment for me to realise that Lily has wrapped her arm around mine, extending her cane in front of her with the other hand. For a moment, I'm startled, but I manage to keep enough of a lid on it for Lily not to notice. While it's not the first time that Lily's relied on me for guidance, she'd only held on to my sleeves cuff before. It's logical that it would be easier for her to navigate a crowded and complex area such as the city while securely linked, but I'm far from being as used to this kind of contact as Lily is. Finally realising the growing silence between us as Lily waits for me to get moving, I quickly kicked my brain into gear. You know, it was quite a surprise that Hanako likes to sing. Have you ever heard her do that before? I have indeed. We've been to karaoke sessions several times, along with my sister. I can't say I take to the activity much, but the other two like it. Maybe Hanako doing karaoke is more fitting than I initially thought. Just her and those she knows, all alone in a little room. It would give her a rare chance to let her guard down, with nobody else there to judge her. Maybe it would be nice to bring her into town for a karaoke birthday party if she likes doing it. I'm not sure she would deal very well with the excitement. I move to protest, but her face shows that she's mulling the proposal over some more. It takes quite some time for her to come to a conclusion. Then again, the best thing we can do for Hanako at this point is try to create some pleasant birthday memories. Continually treating her as if she's abnormal won't help. I think you're right. If she had something to remember apart from loss, then maybe she'll come around. If you brought her something nice that she could see every day, then maybe she'd be able to take her mind off the past and remember that she has friends. And in any case, I think Hanako can handle something like this. In the time I've spent beside her, I've learnt that she isn't quite as frightfully fragile as I thought she was. So, shall we be off? I'm not really sure about the layout of this area. Very well. I might like to suggest having something to eat first. I either, so that sounds like a good plan. Make sure you choose a nice place, Hisao. She gives a teasing smile, one that makes me smile reflexively in response, even if she can't see that. I'll make very sure I do. Don't worry about that. Oh, this place looks like shit. Oh, this looks like... Isn't this like McDonald's or something? Nah. Yeah, Domino's? Shh, poor choice, Hisao. Poor choice. Once inside, I order 2 Big Macs and a pie. I order 2 slices of pie and accompanying cups of tea and take them back to our table. I'd pegged this cafe as typed to appeal Lily, small and quiet but well kept and somewhat upscale. Going by the dainty smile she wears, I don't really know if I chose right. It's very, very rare not to see her smiling after all. Nevertheless, I take a seat near her at one of the corner tables and lay down our small meals. Lily gingerly brings her head over the slice of pie placed in front of her, delicately taking in the aroma. Lemon pie, is it? Thank you, Hisao. No problem. The tea's just next to it, so be careful not to knock it over. She nods appreciatively, but judging from the slightly weak smile she has, the warning wasn't really necessary. I suppose the sound must have tipped her off to its position. We both tuck into our food without further ado, both of us remaining largely silent as we do so. Lily isn't the type to appreciate discussion while eating, and I can't say I like it either. Eventually we finish both of our meals, and the last of our teacups follow in short order. Lily's the first to break the silence. That was very nice. I must say you've chosen quite well, Hisao. This is the first time I've really had much of a look around the city, so all I could really do is choose somewhere that looked nice. Damn, sorry. I feel really bad for inadvertently bringing up the subject of sight around Lily, but she doesn't appear to mind much. Quite the opposite, she almost looks amused by my awkward attempt at an apology. You are thoughtful, Hisao, but sometimes I fear that it gets the better of you. There is no need to change your speech on my account. Lily truly is pretty comfortable in dealing with her condition. I still hasten to change the subject, as I can't really say that I share the confidence in the matter. Have you lived here for very long? It seems like you have this place pretty much sorted out. She quickly waves her hand in front of her face to dismiss the notion. It's nothing like that. I've attended Yamaku since the start of high school, but I didn't walk around the city very much because Akira, my sister, picked me up and dropped me off. I need a drink. Oh right, you've mentioned not living in the dormitories until recently. It's quite a surprise. I just assumed she'd be living here since entering Yamaku at the least, which would give her a few years here. I've lived with the family for most of my life, then I was just together with my sister. When my family having moved to Inverness long before, and Akira working longer hours, I ended up having to move. Inverness? Isn't that somewhere in Scotland? Oh, did I not tell you? My family currently lives in Scotland, the birthplace of my mother. My father's side is mainly Japanese though. Explains her blonde hair and blue eyes. The question of what gave Lily her looks did cross my mind every now and again, but I never thought to ask. That answers that then. To be honest, I'd never guessed. Considering you have no accent, I'm guessing you were born here? Full marks. I am thankful for my heritage though, as without it, I'd likely have not been taught English so early in life. And what of you, Hisao? What about me? She gives a moment's thought. She probably should have thought of what to ask me before switching the topic. I'll go with, what are your plans for the future? To be honest, I haven't thought much about that recently. After my accident and subsequent months in hospital, enjoying my life here with you and Hanako has been enough for me. In fact, I don't think I've thought at all about the future for some times now. It seems almost futile. This is your last year of school. After this you'll have to fend for yourself one way or the other. Oh, you sound like my teachers at school, Lily. Man, it's not like I don't know that. I just haven't put much thought into it since then. She opens her mouth to continue but gives a small sigh instead. She seems to have realised that she doesn't really know enough about my situation to go too deeply into this. Well, we all have our own pace. I just hope that you'll take any chance you see. I understand. I'll think about it. As we walk back into the city, Lily takes hold of my arm once again. So, did you get any good ideas for a present? To be honest, no. I've never been very good at picking them. As absurd as it sounds, perhaps we should just look around? Hearing Lily out of those words throws me off for a moment. Right, how do we do that? That's just the reaction I was expecting. It's simple. You can go window shopping and just tell me what is around. If something interesting comes up, then we might get an idea. Right, I'm still not sure of this, but I'll take your word for it. I think we'll manage. Hanako, my sister, and I managed to do it well enough. With Lily's simplistic and rather optimistic statement, we set off into the shopping district of the city, and I start describing everything I see to Lily. It's hard to think of Hanako going window shopping. She doesn't feel like the type to place much stock in fashion, nor have I noticed her reading magazines or the like. In fact, all I think I've really seen her do as a hobby is read books. There's a housewares shop just ahead. Looks like it's mostly crockery though. I can't think that she'd have much need for that, and what type of message would that send to her? Cook more food? That's not such a bad idea, maybe. That's a horrible idea. You might as well give her like a bunch of pots and pans and, you know, graters, knives, forks, plates, and write in the card, cook more food. Oh god, Hisao, you are just, I don't know what to think of you. Sometimes it's best to leave these things alone, Hisao. Yes, listen to Lily. Lily knows what she's talking about. Once again, I get the feeling that Hanako's exploits in the kitchen aren't always successful. Lily must have had to help her with that sometimes. Let's see, next along is a bookshop. That seems like a good one. She's always reading. Yes, but there are a few problems with books. I'm not quite sure what she has and hasn't read. What about a gift card then? Oh, that's horrible. I never want you to buy me a gift, Hisao, honestly. If you get me a gift card, I'd have to slap you in the face. There's nothing as impersonal as giving someone a gift card. Exactly. See? Lily is just... she is a book of knowledge. It's like saying, I don't know enough about you to work out what you'd like. I always thought of it as making sure they got what they wanted. Giving people gifts is supposed to show them the level of affection you have for them. If you can't decide on a simple gift for them, then how much could you think of them? Right, no gift cards. Lily seems overly passionate about this, but I can see her point. If you're going to get something for someone, then you should put at least some thought into it. If I want to get something for Hanako that reminds her of us every day, then what good is a gift card? In that case, what did you get Hanako last year? A porcelain doll. I thought that if she had someone to talk to, it might help her ease her pain. A doll isn't ever going to criticize her after all. So should I be looking for a doll shop? If you could be so kind to keep a lookout for one, I would be grateful. Sounds good to me. Though I wish you'd mentioned it earlier. But if I did that, then you wouldn't have started thinking for yourself, would you? Once again, Lily has a point. My brain is currently analysing every store we pass for gift options. If Lily had mentioned a doll shop to begin with, I wouldn't have thought of anything else. We wander through the city's streets but seem unable to find anything that resembles a doll shop, or anything that I can consider a fitting present. The simple act of searching is starting to clear my mind. The events of last week are starting to fade away, and I'm looking forward to giving Hanako her gift. If I can find one, that is. This is hopeless. I thought we'd be able to find something in the city, and I'm sure we've walked down the street at least once before. I'm sorry for yawning. I really am tired, and this monster energy is not doing shit. God, this is like product placement. I'm gonna get copyright on this. It almost sounds like you're giving up, Hisao. I'm not, but it's a lot harder than I thought. Try not to be so restricted in your thinking. Maybe we should actually go into some shops and have a look around. That might work. I've never really been any good at window shopping. Lily and I circle around the city streets once more, this time popping into stores that catch our attention. In the end, though, nothing comes up as especially appropriate. Hanako's tastes are often quite hard to pin down at the best of times, thanks to her intensely private nature, and those tastes we do know are hard to accommodate. Maybe we take a break for a minute? I'm a bit exhausted. I agree and leave Lily to rest against a railing while I go to get a couple of drinks from a nearby vending machine. After walking up to the vending machine and grabbing myself some lemonade, I find myself at a bit of a loss, not really knowing Lily's taste. I decide to take a guess and grab something that seems a little girly, but not too weird. Strawberry flavoured milk. Back. I walk up to her and place the carton into her outstretched hands, making sure she has a grip on it before letting go. She feels out its contours before opening it and taking a very tentative sip, her approving smile afterwards telling me that I made the right choice. We both rest and have a quiet drink for a few minutes. A familiar soft ringing begins to sound from Lily's side. She quickly apologises as her hand goes into her pocket, pulling out her mobile phone. Do you mind if I take this? It's fine, don't worry. She nods to me and thanks before turning away and flipping the phone open, bringing it to the side of her face as she picks up the call. Going by the tone of Lily's voice, the person on the other end is no doubt some friend or another. I tune out of their conversation pretty quickly as the snippets that Lily says make it sound like little more than gospel. Gossip, not gospel. Without much else to do, I find myself watching Lily. She really is a pretty girl, which would hardly hurt her popularity in school. It's interesting just to see how much Hanako and Lily contrast with each other, in both personality and appearance. For a few minutes I just lean back and drink, watching her. Before long, Lily says her goodbyes to the person she's talking to and hangs up, placing her phone back in her pocket and leaning back against the railing as before. Sorry, just a friend from class. I take one final swig from my can before throwing it into the bin. Lily gives me a carton to throw away soon after, finishing it off relatively quickly. And I'm going to save there. Alright, so I got a little bit done this tonight. Hopefully I get my other computer, my new computer, fixed with my mic so that I'll be able to record on that one and you won't hear the hissing noise of my fan every 5 seconds going up and down going yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys later.